Alright, hi everyone. I'm going to take you through some things about me so that you can better get to know your teacher. Hang on, this is bad. This is all bad. Okay, first of all, that's better. Second of all, let's just take this and move it out a little bit. Yeah, we're in the digital world and we're doing this online, so if I'm going to show you who I am and I'm going to introduce you to who I am as a teacher, why not do it in a way that fits the medium, that is to say, virtually, digitally, and, good. So, who is Mr. Gailey? Let's find out. I grew up in a small town called Port Angeles, which is right at the top of the Olympic Peninsula on the west end of Washington. It's a tiny, isolated place, but it's spectacularly gorgeous. And after I graduated high school, I then went to the University of Washington, where I got degrees in astronomy and physics. As an astronomy student, I got to work in and help build planetariums, which was super cool, but I think the best thing that I did was research at a 30-inch telescope called the Monastash Ridge Observatory. Incredible stuff. I can't explain just how magical it is to be on the top of a mountain for 4 nights on your own as a college student with other undergrads, taking your own data, processing it, and doing actual science. So after I graduated from the UW, I then joined the Peace Corps and spent 27 months of my life living in a town in rural Mozambique. This one's really important, so I'm actually going to come back and talk about that later. Now, if I were to try to sum up who I am in 4 things, it would probably be these 4 right here. So I'm going to give you little snapshots of each of these so you can better understand who I am. The first thing is going to be music. I was a serious band kid in high school. I played marching band, percussion ensemble, wind ensemble, all sorts of band stuff, and I was a percussionist. But I was also in the choir. I sang second tenor in a couple different choirs. And the reason why I was so involved in music in high school was probably due to my high school band and choir directors, who happened to be my parents. Growing up in the Gailey family, music was just part of all aspects of life. In fact, as a high school student, my parents bought me a marimba so that I could devote more of myself to this craft, and it's something that I still play all the time today. It's a creative outlet, it's a de-stressor. Marimbas are good things. Next up is going to be the outdoors and athletics. So maybe it's not that surprising that having grown up right outside of all of this, hiking, backpacking, and outdoorsy stuff has been a huge part of my life basically since I could walk. That I love to go on long trips when I can, and in fact, this last summer I was able to make this long pilgrimage all the way up to the foothills of Mount Olympus, which for me was something I've wanted to do for years, and oh my god, it is spectacular to be there in person. Also, back in high school, I learned how to do a bunch of flips and twists and stuff. And no joke, they got way better after I actually studied physics in high school. And even though I can't really do the same sort of stuff anymore, I'm definitely a teacher that is jumping on my counters as part of my lessons most days. And I do still have a few tricks that I can do. Then we have the Peace Corps. Okay, the Peace Corps is the hardest thing to explain in a short amount of time, so this is the best I can do. The Peace Corps is an organization run by the US government that partners with developing countries at their request to send volunteers to do all sorts of work.
I have today signed an executive order providing for the establishment of a Peace Corps. This corps will be a pool of trained men and women sent overseas by the United States government to help foreign countries meet their urgent needs for skilled manpower. We will send those abroad who are committed to the concept which motivates the Peace Corps. It will not be easy. They will live at the same level as the citizens of the country which they're sent to, doing the same work, eating the same food, speaking the same language. We're going to put particular emphasis on those men and women who have skills in teaching, agriculture, and in health. I'm hopeful that it will be a source of satisfaction to Americans and a contribution to world peace.
For me, I was in Mozambique, where I worked for 2 years as a high school physics teacher, but I did so much more than that. The prime mission of the Peace Corps is to have Americans be members of the community that they're working in as a part of cultural exchange, so I did all sorts of stuff during my time. Probably the best thing I did when I was living in Mozambique was practice and perform with this cultural group in town. We did music and dance and martial arts and all sorts of stuff. I even got to perform when the former president came and campaigned in my town. Honestly, the people in this group were my best friends during my time in the Peace Corps. But of course I also was a teacher, and I loved whenever I could to do fun, interactive science experiments with my students.
Esta é uma coisa impossível para pessoas. Com muita força eu não consigo. Eu acho que o atmosfero é mais forte que eu.
Peace Corps will probably remain the single most impactful thing that I will do in my entire life. It really fundamentally did change who I am for the better in just about every way. And finally, we have the country of Iceland. So a keen observer and someone familiar with world flags might have noticed that I have 2 Icelandic flags in my house, and actually I have a third. You see, I'm a very unimpressive 1/16th Icelandic, and through some programs that allow Americans and Canadians of Icelandic descent to go to Iceland and meet relatives, I've gotten to spend a couple summers there. This is a clip I took the first time I actually went to Iceland. I'm standing on a hill overlooking the town that my great-great-grandmother was actually born in. In fact, last summer I got to spend a full 10 weeks in the north of the country in a town of 120 working at a museum, and it was just incredibly cool. What draws me to Iceland beyond my family connection is that it's a really interesting country. It has a population half that of Seattle on an island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Its history is just very unique, very interesting, and as a consequence, the country is unique in a lot of ways. And as someone that loves languages and loves to learn languages, the Icelandic language is similarly fascinating historically and both just as a language. However, það er ekki auðvelt að læra íslensku, which is why I'm still not very good at it. So, that's me in a nutshell. And of course there's more to me than those 4 singular video clips, but there's more to all of you than can be expressed in the surveys and such that I and other teachers are passing out this week. It's going to be difficult, certainly more difficult than normal getting to know each other this year, but it will be possible. So, I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you as we work together through this historic year.